every single year, I have seen thousands and thousands of graduates walking down the aisle in this very grand hall, receiving their certificate from His Majesty the Sultan. It was indeed a proud moment for everyone, especially parents and family members. Everyone thought that once they receive their certificate, they will get a job. Unfortunately, my fellow friends, the world doesn't work like that. Having a degree in hand is no longer a reliable asset to secure us to get a job. We're competing against thousands and thousands of graduates coming in from overseas and also local institutions. We're living in a chaotic century where jobs are scarce and limited. Unemployment is on the rise, and it has created a lot of problems to our current generation. In a recent statistic released by the government of Brunei few months ago have shown that nearly 13,000 people here in the country are still unemployed. And unfortunately, nearly 3,000 university graduates who also are unemployed. Sadly, majority of us tend to see this unemployment issue as less important. We thought that once we graduated, we will have a job, raise a considerable amount of income, and by the end of the day, have a happy family. Well, there are some lucky people who will manage to find a job immediately once they graduated. Unfortunately, the world is unfair. Majority of us have to face facts. But still, it is not the end. There are a lot of opportunity instead of relying ourselves on that piece of paper that we call degree. The first one, be adventurous, be proactive by finding other alternative avenue instead of relying on that piece of paper. Get a part-time job and get an experience from it. I would like to share with you a story. A few years ago, I worked in a small company with a monthly salary less than $400. I worked there as a staff, setting up tents for wedding ceremonies and birthday parties. And I was also the graphic designer and a manager in that company. If you compare my salary with the amount of workload that I had, it's still too small. But nonetheless, the most important part here is that the most important part that I've gained here is experience. Experience, my fellow friends, cannot be bought. Instead, you need to earn it. The reason why you need to have an experience, because nowadays interviewers, either in the government sectors and also in the private sectors, instead of asking about your academic credential, they will ask you about your working experience once you graduated. If you have the skills and the experience beforehand, you are making yourself marketable than the rest of the graduate. The second one, invest in your passion. A lot of people tend to forget that once they graduated, they tend to forget their own speciality, such as they can write, they can draw, they can paint, they can innovate. A lot of our graduates who were unemployed in the past are now opening new businesses. Instead of relying on the public sector, they're opening up new doors for other graduates to come and do jobs for them. This is another alternative avenue. I've spoken to a lot of graduates in the past few years. Instead of relying on that piece of paper, they decided to invest their time and energy in their passion. If they can draw, they can draw. If they can paint, they can paint. If they can write any script. So this is why I've spoken to one of the ministers last time. I said to him, yes, of course, there are a lot of our graduates who are still unemployed. But still they are investing their passion, their skills on something that is worthwhile. And he agrees with it. The reason why we need to invest in our passion is that our passion brings us to somewhere else. Use your passion to expose yourself in the world market. This is the reason why investing your time and energy in your passion is something that is important, instead of relying on that piece of paper. The third one, change your mindset. Majority of us here in Brunei are spoiled and showered by numerous privileges. For example, government, scholarship, free education, and of course, even financial support from our parents. A lot of people, a lot of our graduates are wasting their time complaining because they don't have any jobs. But those who are thinking differently, positively, see this as a blessing in disguise. Because they will use their time to do something else instead of waiting and waiting and waiting to get a job. Be involved in volunteerism programs. If you know that you don't have the chance in the job market yet, involve yourself in the volunteerism program. Expose yourself in the community. I've been as the president of the Guild of Graduates for the last 4 years. Although there are a lot of difficulties and hardships, and all the pain and suffering, but still, I love it. The reason why I love it is because it helps me to expose myself out there. I can talk with high-ranking people, with all the stakeholders in the government, and also in the private sectors. This is something that I did not learn in a university setting or in a university syllabus. This is the reason why you need to expose yourself instead of relying on that piece of paper. If you expose yourself, you increases your credibility. You expand your visibility in your community and increases your national knowledge about Brunei. And this will attract future employers to you. Lastly, my fellow friends and Toastmaster, unemployment will remain one of the world's major problems. Every single year we will see thousands or even millions of people walking in the unemployment road. Not having a job is a nail-biting situation and a nightmare. Trust me, I've been there. But still, there are a lot of opportunities. Instead of relying on your degree, gain a lot of experience, expose yourself to the community, and use your mind to do something that is worthwhile, so that you are well marketable, that your future employees will see you as someone who is different from the rest who graduated in the same batch as you. I would like to end my quote. I would like to end my speech with a quote from a wise man. Having a degree is just a piece of paper. If you use it wisely, it will become your ticket to the world. So ladies and gentlemen, use your brain, use your mind. Instead of relying on that piece of paper, just get a lot of experience by the end of the day, so that you will be successful for your future journey. Back to you.